Three people arrived at the trash can and looked around, but where was the small cardboard box? Feeling annoyed, the phone rang again. The person on the other end seemed to ask with a sense of pride, "So, did you find the box?" A detective snatched the phone and angrily said, "What kind of game are you little brats playing? There's no box here. I'm right by the trash can." "No box? Could it be that you've looked in the wrong place?" The other party sounded surprised. "There's only one trash can within hundreds of meters. How could we possibly look in the wrong place?" The police officer was furious. The other party was silent for a moment, then complained, "It's all my fault for being careless. The box might have been picked up by someone collecting trash." "Trouble? Do I have to disgust myself once more?" "What do you mean by disgust myself once more? What's in the box?" the police officer asked urgently. But the call had already been hung up. "Damn it, this kid really doesn't want to live," another officer cursed loudly. The police officer and Lily Wong felt that the situation seemed to be getting more complicated than just a staged kidnapping, and a shadow of gloom began to cover their faces. They continued to search around the trash can but found nothing. Not long after, the angry officer received a call. Afterward, he opened his mouth, his face filled with despair, and said hoarsely, a trash collector came to report that he found a cardboard box, opened it, and discovered it contained a human ear with a large black mole on it. Upon hearing this, Lily Wong fainted on the spot. In the office of the County Criminal Investigation Team, Greg Wong's face was ashen as he looked at the disgusting item inside the cardboard box. A human ear with a large black mole, and upon closer inspection, one could see that the ear had been cooked. Greg Wong heavily tapped his fingers on the desk and asked in a cold voice, "What exactly is going on?" Captain Jack Lin and the other two team members hesitantly recounted the events. After listening, Greg Wong bit his teeth angrily and said, "Do you even have brains? I ask you, do you have brains? How could you arbitrarily conclude that it was a scam set up by River and others? Just based on your few naive and ridiculous analysis reasons? Just with that little brain capacity of yours, you directly jump to conclusions. Now we're missing an ear. What if they silence someone for good? Jack Lin, what do we do now? The kidnappers have cut off the victim's ear and even cooked it. What do we do?" Jack Lin was speechless. He had been so sure in the morning that it was all an act. He hadn't expected such a thing to happen so soon. Indeed, they could only blame their own rashness. During the call with the kidnappers, they thought the other party's tone was frivolous, the voice young, and they didn't let the family hear the hostage's voice, firmly believing it was a scam set up by River's accomplices, even urging the other party to quickly turn themselves in. This led to the incident with the ear. At this moment, a police officer ran in, supporting Lily Wong, whose eyes were red from crying, holding a ringing phone in her hand. "Boss, there's another call." Greg Wong, as usual, turned on the recorder and speaker, letting Lily Wong answer. "Hello, it's me again. We've placed another cardboard box in the 5th trash can from the east end of River Road, but this time there's no mole. I wonder if you'll recognize it." You again." Lily Wong almost fainted on the spot again. "What do you mean, you again?" The other party was taken aback, then realized and complained, "Why didn't you tell me earlier that you found the ear? Holding this thing also makes me feel disgusted." Hearing this young voice, Greg Wong felt a surge of disgust. This was exactly like the tone of a psychopathic killer. Anyway, the other party already knew that Lily Wong had reported the case. Hiding it was useless. He took over the phone and said in a deep voice, "I'm from the County Public Security Bureau. Don't act rashly. I advise you to think carefully. Don't do anything foolish. If you have any demands, just say it." The other party seemed to ponder. "Originally, we discussed that if Lily Wong called the police, we would tear up the ticket. Now what do we do?" Lily Wong said anxiously, "You want money, right? I'll give it to you. Just don't harm my son. I beg you, I beg you." "Oh, didn't expect you to be so easy to talk to. Quite reasonable, huh? If we tear up the ticket again, it would be too unreasonable. Our cooperation can still continue. I believe even if your son loses both ears, he might look strange, but he's still alive, right? You just hope he's alive, right? That guy who just said he's from the Public Security Bureau, are you still there?" Greg Wong frowned and said, "What do you want? Your voice doesn't sound as naive as the idiot this morning. Seems like you must be their leader. Let's hear your name and position." He hesitated for a moment, then spoke displeasedly. "Greg Wong," he emphasized, "Deputy Chief, in charge of criminal investigation. Oh my, I'm so scared. A weird tone came from the other end of the phone. Hearing this annoying voice, Greg Wong really wanted to retort with a curse. The other party continued, "Is Lily Wong there? We can overlook the fact that you reported the case, forgive you. But when we exchange the ransom, if the police are following you, then we'll have to say goodbye. And that so-called deputy chief in charge of criminal investigation, since Lily Wong has reported the case, I believe you won't just let it go. All right, if you want to play, we'll play with you. Just don't let me see you during the ransom exchange." Greg Wong's face turned cold. How do we exchange the ransom? Why should I tell you? You're not Lily Wong. Bye. After saying that, the call was hung up, and calling back, it was turned off. Greg Wong was so angered by the kidnapper that his face changed color. He had never seen such an arrogant, even to the point of being ridiculous, kidnapper. The voice analysis during the conversation showed that this person was very young, but probably a psychopath. He referred to we, indicating there were accomplices. He immediately sent people to River Road to retrieve the other box. Then, after some thought, he planned to capture the kidnappers step by step. He called all the main members of the criminal investigation team over and assigned tasks. First, immediately track the mobile phone signal. Once the target's area is determined, report back immediately, and then arrange for plainclothes officers to approach the kidnapper's location under the guise of pipeline maintenance or other reasons. Second, send 2 plainclothes officers to the school to inquire about the classmates who were with River yesterday, to find out what exactly happened last night, and to reconstruct the entire factual process. This must be done discreetly and carefully because the kidnappers might be secretly monitoring the police's actions. It was already 6:30 in the evening, so they needed to hurry to the school and complete the work before the night self-study ended. Third, take out the relevant electronic equipment from the warehouse and modify Lily Wong's phone so that no matter what call is received, it can be connected to the police station immediately, and the police can give instructions for the conversation. Fourth, let Lily Wong go home first. Send 2 people in plain clothes to sneak into her home, connect the home phone to the police station as well, and thoroughly search the inside and outside of the house for any listening devices, etc. As for the $3 million in cash demanded by the kidnappers, Greg Wong didn't even consider it. He believed that if everything went smoothly, they could catch the kidnappers tonight. The work was quickly underway, and Greg Wong stayed in the office to command. Soon, Jacqueline brought the first piece of news. "Boss, we can't track the signal." Greg Wong hesitated. "What's the matter?" The other party turned off the phone. Today, every time the kidnapper made a call, they would turn on the phone, make the call, and then immediately turn it off. Based on the locations of the signals during the day, we found that the kidnapper was on the move. The technicians said the kidnapper might be using a signal jamming device, making the mobile phone signal not fixedly sent to the nearest base station. Many scam calls also use this device. Moreover, because the kidnapper's phone was on for a very short time, the mobile company received limited signal data, and the technicians could only determine an area of a few square kilometers, unable to accurately lock the location. Greg Wong asked, "How long will it take for us to find his location the next time he turns on his phone?" Jacqueline said, "We're already monitoring River's mobile number. Normally, even if he continues to use the signal jamming device, as long as his phone is on for more than 2 or 3 minutes, we can lock him within a radius of no more than 100 meters. What if he hangs up after a few words like today?" Jacqueline shook his head helplessly. "Then the area we measure will still be quite large, not easy to pinpoint. Can't we find more capable technical personnel in our police force to accurately lock the signal location?" The technician said, "If the other party doesn't use a signal jamming device, since we're already monitoring the other party's number, as long as the other party turns on the phone, we can lock the location within 10 seconds. The principle of locating is based on the position of the mobile base station receiving the signal, adjusted over time. The longer the time, the more accurate the range. But the signal jamming device makes the mobile phone signal not fixedly sent to the nearest base station, so it's difficult to confirm the exact location. Moreover, domestic mobile companies' technology is not as advanced as in developed countries, like the United States, where due to anti-terrorism needs, mobile operators have richer data. Domestic technology construction didn't consider so much. If the kidnapper continues to use the jamming device, making calls for 1 or 2 minutes and then turning off the phone, even if we bring in national security, it's also hard to track. Greg Wong scratched his head, frowning. Understood. You continue to monitor other matters. Arrange for someone to monitor the mobile signal 24 hours. Not long after, the undercover officer who had infiltrated Lily Wong's house called. Boss, we've searched the house and found no surveillance devices. The connection device we installed on her phone is all set up, and we're staying at her place, ready to act on your command. Good. Stay at her house tonight. Sometime later, 2 policemen returned with another cardboard box, naturally containing the second cooked ear of Jiang Xiaobing. Greg Wong glanced at it, feeling a wave of disgust. This criminal was a real sicko, actually cutting off ears and boiling them. Judging by how well they were cooked, they seemed to have been steamed. He instructed them to take the items down to the forensic doctor, Dr. Chen, and to check if the cardboard box had any additional clues. Since there were no surveillance cameras on Wangzhong Road and the box was small enough to be hidden inside clothing, even if the criminal had passed through other monitored areas, the police wouldn't be able to identify any suspects. Therefore, Greg Wong did not ask them to review the surveillance footage near Wangzhong Road. Later, around 10 o'clock at night, the undercover officers from the school reported back. Boss, last night Jiang Xiaobing and 3 of his classmates left school early before the end of the night self-study session, around 9:10 p.m. When they passed by an internet cafe, the 3 classmates went inside to play, and Jiang Xiaobing went home alone. What happened after that, the 3 of them claim they don't know. Greg Wong's expression darkened as he asked, were the 3 of them questioned separately? Yes, we questioned them separately and carefully cross-checked their statements. There were no discrepancies. Here are their detailed statements. By the way, boss, should we bring these 3 students in for further questioning? After reviewing their statements and finding no discrepancies, Greg Wong shook his head. No need for now. They're just students and have classes tomorrow. It seems unrelated to these 3 students at first glance. All right, find out the possible routes Jiang Xiaobing could have taken home and see which sections are covered by surveillance. Then, call the traffic police and ask them to bring over the footage. Right away. They worked late into the night and finally spotted Jiang Xiaobing on the surveillance footage. He had taken a small side road off the main thoroughfare, about 400 meters long, with surveillance cameras at both ends. One side of the road was a river, and the other side was a row of residential buildings and shops, with no other passageways. Thus, this road was essentially a closed section. The video was taken at night, and the clarity was poor, but it was still possible to make out the general situation. Jiang Xiaobing entered from the first camera and never appeared on any other camera. Greg Wong fell into deep thought. Was the kidnapper living in one of these residential buildings within the short 400 meters, taking Jiang Xiaobing upstairs, or did the kidnapper have a car and took Jiang Xiaobing away? Regardless of the answer, solving the case tonight was impossible. The next morning, a detective rushed into Greg Wong's office. Boss, a call came in from an unknown number, suspected to be the kidnapper. Greg Wong hurried into the network room, instructing the technicians to immediately track the signal while directing Lily Wong through the microphone. You answer. Lily Wong picked up and tremulously said, Hello? The person on the other end asked, Hello, it's me again. Why did it take you so long to answer the phone? I won't be using your son's SIM card anymore. Greg Wong was startled. He had just tapped Jiang Xiaobing's mobile number, and now the kidnapper was abandoning it. What to do now? He quickly signaled the technician nearby to monitor this new number. The caller continued, Is the money ready? Not knowing how to respond, Greg Wong said, Tell him, it's a lot of money and we need some time to gather it. Also, try to prolong the call. Hearing Lily Wong's delayed response, the person on the phone suddenly laughed. Are you consulting with the police on how to answer me? Lily Wong hurriedly denied. No, how could that be? I wouldn't cooperate with the police. I just want my son back alive. Oh, so you're saying that the very capable Chief Wong, who oversees criminal investigations, can't hear this call now? Not only could Lily Wong hear this, but so could Greg Wong and all the detectives in the office. Greg Wong snorted silently, cursing in his mind. He had only mentioned his role in criminal investigations. When had he ever claimed to be very capable? This guy was clearly taunting him, seemingly asking for trouble. Lily Wong said, No, of course, he can't hear. Only I can. Sorry, you took a bit too long to answer this call. It's been over 2 minutes now, and I'm about to hang up. Oh, I heard that if a phone is on for more than 5 minutes, the police can lock onto my location, right? Is that how it works? the very capable Chief Wang in charge of criminal investigations? Greg Wang was shocked and quickly switched the signal, shouting into the phone, "Who are you? And how do you know this?" The caller didn't respond to him, but simply said with a laugh, "Goodbye." After hanging up, all the officers awkwardly looked at Greg Wang, who pursed his lips and asked the technician, "Did you lock onto the signal?" The technician opened and closed his mouth. "No, the kidnapper used a new number, and I hadn't set up the monitoring in time before he hung up." Greg Wang narrowed his eyes. How did the kidnapper know that turning on the phone for more than 5 minutes would allow us to lock onto his location? The technician racked his brain for an explanation. Maybe the criminal knows this technology too. Humph. Greg Wang stood up. "Captain Lin, gather your team immediately. We're heading to Lily Wang's house." Jack Lin asked, puzzled, "Boss, if the kidnappers have someone tailing us and see us openly going to Lily Wang's house, won't they harm the hostage? They already know our moves. What's the use of hiding?" Shortly after they arrived at Lily Wang's house, the phone rang again, this time from another unknown number. Lily Wang cautiously answered, "Hello, who is this?" "It's me again. I've switched numbers." "So, is the money ready?" Following Greg Wang's instructions, Lily Wang said, "3 million is a lot. I don't have that much money. Can it be less?" The caller was surprisingly agreeable. "No problem. He's missing 2 ears, right? 1 ear is worth 10,000. So let's make it 2,980,000. Of course, I'm reasonable and open to further discounts. A finger is worth 30,000, an arm 200,000. 1. Lily Wang hurriedly interjected, "I'll gather it. Just give me some time, please." "No problem. I'll contact you again in 3 days. Remember, I want the money in new bills, 10,000 per stack, unopened, so it's easier for me to carry and count. I don't want any other packaging. And don't try to fool me with counterfeit money, or you'll bear the consequences. And to the police, try to find us in these 3 days. If you follow us on the day of the ransom, you'll regret it." Seeing the caller was about to hang up again, Greg Wang quickly switched the audio channel. "How's the hostage? Let us hear his voice." "Did I speak to you?" "The very capable Chief Wang in charge of criminal investigations." The caller let out a sharp, mocking laugh, then hung up. The call back went straight to voicemail. Greg Wang, usually reserved due to his experience in the bureaucratic world, couldn't help but feel infuriated. Time and again, as soon as he spoke, the criminal would mock him with "the very capable Chief Wang in charge of criminal investigations" before hanging up. Did I have a feud with him in a past life? This beast. If I catch him, I'll make him kneel and beg for mercy. Jack Lin said, "Boss, it seems like the kidnapper is provoking us. The police?" Greg Wang clenched his teeth. "It's more than provocation. They've thrown down a gauntlet to us, the police. Humph. Within 3 days, I must drag these beasts out, especially that little beast who keeps taunting me." Lily Wang anxiously asked, "Chief Wang, what should I do? Can my son come back?" Greg Wang confidently assured, "Don't worry, we'll find him." "Do I need to prepare the 3 million? What?" Greg Wang glared at her. "Don't you believe we can catch that scoundrel within 3 days?" Lily Wang quickly denied, No, it's not that. I don't know what to do, and my son's ears were cut off. I'm afraid." Greg Wang huffed, cutting her off. "Just stay home and wait for news. Since the phone is tapped, if the criminal calls again, I can connect immediately. Contact me if there's any situation. I'll leave 2 officers at your house and assign a few more to monitor the area around your house 24/7. I have my plans." After giving instructions, Greg Wang left with Jack Lin and the team. He was determined to catch these despicable kidnappers within 3 days, especially the one who kept taunting him. Outside the city, on a mountain with a cemetery, Chase-Chen walked up the steps with his hands behind his back. Finding Jasmine Gan's grave was easy. He had followed Grandma He to the cemetery that day,